at the White House, where Ireland is honoured every year by the US President.
I'm joined now in the studio by Seth Barrett-Tillman, lecturer in law at Maynooth University, and by People Before Profit TD, Brid Smith. Brid Smith, it would be an extraordinary diplomatic rebuff if we did not welcome a head of state from a friendly country.
I don't agree, David. An extraordinary diplomatic rip-off, I don't think is quite a good term for this. And I think actually the timing of his visit, which is sometime around the beginning of June, because he's going to Britain for the celebrations of D-Day, is quite interesting. Yesterday we got the highest ever readings of CO2 in the atmosphere, the highest ever from the Manolow Observatory. It's now at 415.2 parts per million in the atmosphere. That mightn't sound like much to people, but scientists reckon if it goes over 350 parts per million, we're in deep trouble. And we are about to welcome a man, according to the Taoiseach, who is the biggest climate denier on the planet, who has pulled the strongest economy in the world out of the Paris Accord, and who says it ain't happening, it's a hoax, the ice is not melting, and is actually supporting and buffering up the fossil fuel industry in order to make it impossible for the green renewable industry to compete with it.
But surely
we haven't a hope in hell of dealing with
this. If you want to change his mind, you talk to
him. I don't think that is an argument at all. I think that what Donald Trump needs to understand is that we reject the ideas that he represents, the ideas that he embodies, the way he has emboldened the far right throughout the world, the way he has normalised the idea of separating parents from their children on the Mexican border, of caging children. The image of caged children on the Mexican border has been a huge contribution to emboldening and normalising the behaviour and the ideas of the far right. And I think the main issue is climate change and the fact that he is the biggest known denier. We should reject him, and Ireland should give a lead in that.
But we welcome lots of people from different countries, different regimes, some of them deeply anti-democratic, some of them deeply damaging to the environmental cause, and we put them up at Farmley and give them a great big welcome.
Well, I've been on many protests in the past, including one against Ronald Reagan when he was a warmonger, and against George Bush. But I think if we were to welcome, for example, Bolsonaro tomorrow, then we would have to say that we would have to protest against him. Similarly, a climate denier who's about to privatise the Amazon forest and who locks up gay people for being gay.
Have you protested against any non-American visitors to this country?
Who are you talking about visiting
here? The Chinese,
here?
for instance.
The Chinese president? I don't remember a visit by the Chinese president, so I probably haven't protested against it.
I think he was here. Certainly the vice president was here. But would you protest against somebody from China, a leading figure in the Chinese government?
Well, I would if they were associated with the issues that I've just described to you, with climate denial, with racism, with locking up children and separating them from their parents, with the idea that it is okay to embolden the far right. And you see, I think that you have to put this into a context. Trumpism across the planet has given confidence to those people who hold these ideas very, very strongly.
OK, let me bring in Seth Barrett-Tillman.